with Tourcy, Tours by Tracy. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here today, and we're going to highlight New England and Cape Cod Autumn Foliage Tour for next October 7th through the 14th, 2021. So I know maybe our color isn't so great here as we look at our own windows, but we kind of get excited and we get that feel for the fall for next year. This will be just about a year from now. And the reason I'm promoting this particular tour, highlighting this tour among others, is in the past, I've promoted a fall autumn tour and a Cape Cod beach type tour separately. But what really struck me about this was the combination of both experiences in one tour. So you have, Vermont, and you have the fall foliage, and you have, but at the same time, you get the Martha's Vineyard and Cape Cod. The hotel that we're staying at, the one hotel is beachfront. So it's just, I thought it was just a wonderful combination of the both aspects of New England. Plus, what's really great that we're going to highlight today is the free air offer through the end of November. So we'll let Amanda go into all of the pricing and all of the information, but that's something to keep in the back of your mind, that free air offer from any gateway. So I know most of us here may be looking at EVV in Evansville, perhaps Nashville. You may have friends or family out of another gateway, but that free air offer is for any gateway. So that's kind of exciting. I know offers in the past, sometimes it was an air offer out of certain gateways. So that's super exciting. With that being said, I know the main reason we're here today is to find out about the tour, to see some beautiful pictures, to really delve into the itinerary. And that's where Amanda Coleman comes in with Mayflower Cruises and Tours. I've been using Mayflower for about 2 years. We have a wonderful collaboration. Their tours are a quality product. That's why I promote them, all inclusive in terms of the sites and the meals and the flights. So with that, I will turn it over to you, Amanda.
Perfect. Thank you. So nice to see you guys, or hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I know we're definitely excited to talk about travel next year. I know I'm ready to get out of the house and see some beautiful sights. And with this trip being domestic, I think it's going to be very, very popular. It already has been. And what I love about this one too, I lived in Rhode Island for 10 years. Oops, somebody just popped up to join, sorry. I lived in Rhode Island for 10 years. So I used to go all around to these places with my girlfriends every year. So we'd get a cabin in Vermont and drive around, and I absolutely love it. So what we will do today, I'll go day to day into the tour, and of course, answer any questions that you guys have. So I'm not sure if you've used Zoom before, but towards the bottom, you'll see that chat box. So if you have any questions, if you want to type them in there, because I will mute you just in case a phone rings or something like that, so everyone can hear okay. But I'll get an alert and I'll check the chat box too as we go through. Does that make sense? Everybody's good there? Okay. So everybody knows where the chat box is too? Okay, perfect. So let me just, okay, perfect. So I will share my screen with you so you can see everything. Because you guys can see just me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, can you see something that says Mayflower Tours? Okay, good. I know I muted you, so I don't know why I'm asking questions. Okay, let's get started. Perfect, everyone's got a big picture in front of them? Okay, great. So let me see if I can move this on the side. Okay. So if you need me, I will get an alert. But here we go. So we are going to go over this beautiful trip. So if you haven't been on a Mayflower tour, you might not know what you're getting. So just like Tracy kind of summed up for you, we want to make sure that we're taking care of everything. So very leisurely paced. We have that transportation from spot to spot in a motor coach for you. We move your luggage from hotel to hotel. You have your tour manager who is trained in the destination. They specialize in it. You have a couple step-on guides or historians that will take you through some of these destinations too. Your unique dining experiences, which on this trip, you definitely have a chance to have some lobster. So hopefully you'll be excited for that. And then your hotel accommodations. So we have some very unique hotels on this. Like Tracy said, you're staying beachfront when you're staying on the Cape, but you also have a gorgeous hotel that's in Vermont, just right there overlooking some beautiful foliage too. You have a nice variety from the way it starts in the city and then goes around. So this trip is taking place next year, October 7th through the 14th. So almost a year from today, which is nice. And so you'll have very similar weather to what we're used to when it comes to that fall time. It's a great time to be in New England. So make sure you're dressing in layers for me and wearing comfortable shoes. Now, if you take a peek at my map here, you are going to fly in and out of Boston. So we'll go down to Boston, and then we're going to stay at South Yarmouth. That's where you'll go off to Martha's Vineyard. So you'll take a ferry, and we'll stop in Newport. You'll go up to Vermont, and then you'll stay over by Lake Winnipesaukee, which make sure you study that. There's going to be a test on spelling Winnipesaukee later. And then you'll stay your last night in Maine in Scarborough. So you fly in and out of Boston on this trip. And I know it might look like there's a lot of bus time, but it's a very small area that you're covering. So just remember that. So your longest ride is maybe 3 hours, and that's probably Newport to Brattleboro. And that's, the longest ride on a busy day. So I doubt it's going to be that bad. So first things first, we've got to get there. So like Tracy said, you can fly from anywhere, but that free air offer is from any gateway, and you're coming right into beautiful Boston. So I love coming into Boston. I think it's a great city to walk around and explore. You do have a little bit of free time before your group will come together with the tour manager. So feel free to walk around, check out the different little neighborhoods. Got someone joining us here. And one of the things I definitely recommend is getting some cannolis. So my favorite place to get cannolis is at Mike's. So look up Mike's cannolis. They are delicious. They are open all hours. I mean, you can go get a delicious chocolate chip cannoli at 1 a.m. And I have to admit, I've done it, but they are delicious. So make sure you check out Mike's cannolis. They're so good. Now, after the welcome dinner, you'll be able to hang out at the hotel, go out for a little bit. The next day is when we're going to do our sightseeing. So when it comes to sightseeing, there's so much to see in Boston. So of course, there's the Freedom Trail that we will walk a little bit of and see. The Freedom Trail, if you did the whole thing, the whole path, is a little under 2.5 miles. So keep that in mind. If it's something you want to do the entire thing of, you would definitely have time the day before. But having that chance to walk around, and you'll follow those signs right there in the ground too. And there's plenty of maps that can take you along the entire path. So you'll see the Freedom Trail, the beautiful public gardens. So this is one of the largest garden areas that you'll get a chance to walk through, and it's beautiful too. So you're going to be going during all this foliage time with lots of oranges and reds and yellows, and it's my favorite time to be there, absolutely. The Old North Church. So the Old North Church, we will stop and take some time to go through. So this is the location where many years ago, 2 lanterns were held up in the church so that way Paul Revere could see them and they could start to warn people that the British were coming. So the Old North Church was built back in the 1700s, and it still has some infrastructure from then too. So a very beautiful historic building that plays a huge part in our history. You'll also see Faneuil Hall. Faneuil Hall is in a nice little spot here in the middle of town. You can go in and there's plenty of spots where you can get snacks, get lunch, there's little stores, all sorts of things too. So I always loved taking my time and walking through Faneuil Hall. Now, after our time there in Boston, we will head over to Plymouth. So you will stop so that you can see the famous Plymouth Rock. So you'll see the stamp here that says 1620. Now, some interesting things about Plymouth Rock. So the rock has moved a couple times and parts of it have always stayed in this location. So it used to be a lot bigger. So keep that in mind. So it was very, very big many years ago. And now it's just this smaller piece here. So sometimes people think they're going to see this giant boulder, but you're not necessarily. So just keep that in mind when you get to Plymouth Rock. Now, one of the things like unique meals and dining experiences, you're gonna have a lobster bake. So when we get to Cape Cod, you'll be staying there for 2 nights in your hotel and you have a delicious lobster bake. So don't worry, we will teach you how to get the meat out of there. You gotta work for it a little bit, but it is delicious. I mean, who doesn't want some nice, fresh New England lobster on a vacation? It's amazing. So you'll have some delicious lobster as we go through here. Also, if there's ever some good clam chowder, you want to make sure you get some of that too on your trip. Now, Martha's Vineyard, of course, a very popular place for the rich and famous and everyone to vacation. So we do take a nice little ferry ride over. Just in case there's bad weather, we might change the time that we go over to Martha's Vineyard. But typically it's a nice and smooth ride, so don't worry. It's a high-speed ferry. It does not take long at all. So you'll have some time to walk around Martha's Vineyard. And keep in mind, as we're doing this too, you'll have your tour manager the entire time, and they're gonna give you all these whisper headsets. So they go right around your neck, and they plug with this earbud into your ear so that you can hear the history and the facts and everything perfectly. So you don't have to be right next to your tour manager. You can be 15, 20 feet away and hear them just fine. So don't feel as though you have to huddle together in order to know the history or what you're seeing. We want to make sure you can walk at your own pace and take your time too. Now we will also go to this area here called Gay's Head. So this is known for its shoreline. So the beautiful shoreline here, as you can see, it is just a breathtaking area to be able to just relax and walk through. We'll also go to Edgartown. So as you can see in these homes right here, they're known for that gingerbread cookie cutter style. So the homes are beautiful like this, the detail, the colors. A lot of them are historic landmarks. So when your home is marked like that, there's a lot of rules with how to maintain them, certain colors they can be, and things like that too, to keep the integrity of the building and the town. So Edgartown is a very interesting place to be able to walk around and explore. It's very quaint and charming. Now we'll make our way over to Newport, Rhode Island, and Newport is home of so many things. So of course, the Tennis Hall of Fame is here. There's beautiful mansions, and speaking of those, you will go through one of the most famous mansions in the area too. So you are going to go through Breaker's Mansion. Breaker's Mansion was actually a home owned by the Vanderbilts. This was their summer home, to give you an idea. Just a small little house for them to stay in their summer vacations. It has over 70 rooms in it. At the time when it was built, it only took 2 years. Back in, I want to say 1892, 1893. So it was built back then. But one of the interesting things is that it cost about $20 million for them to build. And in today's money, that's about $150 million. Oops. Sorry about that. I just got, there we go. Okay. So it's kind of interesting to think that, you know, this home that was built in 2 years for millions of dollars, and now it would be worth, I mean, just to think of the cost of building something like that. It has some beautiful gardens, and you can walk around and explore as we do a guided tour in here. So the buildings and the different rooms they have are just gorgeous with detail. We'll also make our way up to Newfane. So remember, we go from Newport and we're heading up towards that Vermont area. So this is going to be the longest drive you have. It's going to be a little under 3 hours, which of course we will stop along the way too. And you'll have some foliage to look at along the way. So don't worry, it's a nice, nice ride. So some little towns we want to stop at so you can see are Newfane. We'll also stop in Grafton. And remember, as we're going through here too, you know, different things to pick up when you're in the area and shopping. You know, you get to Vermont, there's going to be a lot of maple syrup. So if you have someone who wants to try some homemade maple syrup, this would definitely be the thing to get them for sure. I know I always get a little, they come in little jugs, and I always get a little jug to bring home. They're cute. And of course, the Vermont Country Store, a very well-known store. It has a lot of interesting things. It's not your typical little shop. It has some different oddities and things. It's a family-run business. So you can get all sorts of little souvenirs and stuff here too. So this is definitely a good spot if you want to get some syrup to bring home. So people love stopping at this little country store. I know I did too. We'll also get to Woodstock. I mean, the views in Woodstock are breathtaking. It is one of the most beautiful, I think it's rated one of the prettiest towns in the United States too. So this is when, you know, you're gonna have these hills of trees and beautiful views that you'll see along the way. So no matter which side of the bus you're sitting on, you will see left and right just the foliage and the colors too. So make sure your cameras are charged and you're looking out that window as much as you can. It's breathtaking. So we'll stop here at the state park. So this is an area known as the Little Grand Canyon. So it has a beautiful view that you can see. And also occasionally you will see people taking hot air balloon rides around this area too. So all of it with its different colors and things come out really bright and amazing. And I love how this trip is nice and leisurely paced. So you're staying at hotels for 1 night, 2 nights, but they're all unique in the sense that you're not having to drive too far from spot to spot. You have some meals included, but you have that great balance of free time too. So you can walk around and do some shopping or just sit outside and take in the fresh air and the sights too. We'll stop here at Franconia Notch. So imagine this with all the fall colors. I couldn't find a good photo of it, but it's beautiful to think of the mix of the reds and the yellows and the oranges too. So it is one of my favorite spots to stop and take a look at. It's a great spot. Now you will hop up here. We're gonna see Mount Washington. So we're actually gonna go on Mount Washington. So you're gonna take this cog railway. So this is actually to the highest point in New England, so Mount Washington. It's funny, when you go to New England, you might see on people's cars. A lot of people will put stickers and it says, I climbed Mount Washington. And then you'll see some that say, this car drove up Mount Washington. So there's a mix. There's different ways you can get up there. Some people will hike, some people will drive, and then we are going to hop on this cog railway, which I think is the funnest way to do it too. You'll be able to get a beautiful view from the top of Mount Washington. North Conway. So this is when we're over here in New Hampshire, of course. So North Conway is a cute little town that you'll be able to stop at. You'll see all of these colors and the beautiful churches too. I love how it's all just simple and so beautiful that you can just take in these different colors and sights. So the hotels that we're staying at too around this time, they're going to be right there in the heart of it all, which is nice. So you'll have some beautiful views of foliage right from your rooms. Now we're going to take this scenic byway. So this scenic byway is a nice drive that will lead us to the White Mountains. So a lot of times people think that the scenic drive could definitely it'd be beautiful and be the highlight, but then when you get to the White Mountains, I think you're all going to absolutely love it. So a lot of people forget about the different mountains and things in New England, and the whole area just turns breathtaking this time of year. And another nice thing about the trip too, with it being domestic, you don't have to worry about a drastic time change. So with everyone on Central Time, you're just going 1 hour over to Eastern. So it'll make a nice, easy transition for you when you get there and when you get home. Now, Lake Winnipesaukee. Try to say Winnipesaukee 10 times fast. So we go on a cruise on Lake Winnipesaukee, and I am told time and time again that this is a huge highlight for people on their trip. So we will hop on this boat, and you will be able to just cruise and see the trees right there from the water. So it is a beautiful spot to go. Lots of people come here in New England in the area to vacation. So this is a great spot where you can see some beautiful homes along the lake too. But I think this cruise is something that you're absolutely gonna love. And then our last stop is Kennebunkport. So Kennebunkport, Maine. Getting to Maine is one of my favorite spots. I used to go up here once a year, and I think that there's tons of things to do. So Kennebunkport is also known for, there's outlet shopping nearby. So sorry guys, be prepared, but there's some nice shopping you can do and relaxing on that final night. So that way what we will do, we will have everyone come together again, of course, for that farewell dinner. And then the next day is when you drive to Boston to fly home. So keep in mind, Maine, that Kennebunkport to Boston is maybe an hour and a half. So it's not very far at all. And we don't even fly out till the afternoon. So you're not gonna have to get up and start getting to Boston at 5 o'clock in the morning. Don't even worry about it. And after that, you will make your way back to beautiful Evansville or wherever you may be throughout Indiana and the area. But are there any questions at all for me on the tour itself? Check the little chat box here. You can unmute yourself too if you have a question for me. Let me see. Anybody? No? You're all quiet today. Okay. Well, I've got some little bookend things I'll go over for you too, so definitely let me know. Let me make you guys smaller here. You can still see my screen okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Move you over. Okay. So again, this trip is next year. So the per person rates, okay, so this is with the free airfare. So 2 people to a room, it's $31.79 per person. And if you're traveling as a single, then it's $42.08 per person. So that free airfare is until the end of November. So just keep that in mind. We do already have people signed up with this trip having free airfare and being domestic. It is definitely a popular one. And the deposit to sign up for the tour is only $200 per person. So you would do the $200 and the travel protection if you wanted that. And I'll show you here, the travel protection is $200 per person also. And that does cover your airfare. So if there were to be, you lose your luggage or have any issues or illness on tour, it protects you. So the travel protection plan gives you the opportunity to cancel your trip for any reason up until midnight the night before. So you can cancel just because, and you get your money back minus the cost of the insurance, okay? So you can cancel even if you get a bad haircut, you just don't want pictures looking like that. It's okay, I've been there, we'll take care of it for you. But I will stop sharing here so we can all gab and see what questions you have for me. Okay, anything at all? There's something in the chat.
Amanda, can you tell us about the wellness protocols?
Yes.
That are taking place now?
Definitely. So these are the things that we're currently doing. Of course, I don't know where we're going to be next October, but to give you all an idea, so we do have standards with all of our vendors, with the restaurants and with the hotels for cleanliness. We are checking those things at all times. Right now, you know, if you have a mask and we're going through public places, we do ask that you wear it. But again, it depends on where we'll be next year. I can't say that we will force you to wear a mask or anything like that. Maybe it's recommended if we're in a busy place, but you know, being a year away, I don't think anyone knows how we'll be with COVID, but you know, we are doing our best. We have canceled tours for the rest of the year. We're being very cautious as a company, and we want to make sure everyone is safe and that they're comfortable traveling. So I think with this being a local domestic tour, that it's the perfect way to get back out there and, you know, feel comfortable too.
And I'll add too that all of my bookings for 2020, everyone moved over to 2021. You know, they just slid over. If they had that free air offer in 2020, it moved with it to 2021. So they were protected. Travel protection is only $200, so that protects your investment too. Again, this is one of the primary reasons that I collaborate with Mayflower is because of the quality of their product, but also how they treat travelers, especially through all of this. So.
Definitely. And $200 for travel protection, it's the same price for anyone. So we don't take your health information or anything like that, which is nice. So pre-existing conditions and things like that, you don't have to worry, because I know sometimes travel insurance can feel daunting, but it is just nice and easy. So if you wanted to do the deposit and travel protection, it would be $400 per person. And you would just get that with your reservation form over to Tracy. Any other questions at all for us?
Do you have a list of the hotels yet that we can stay in?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and what I'm going to do, I am going to take everybody who's registered today, I am going to send you, I'm going to attach the reservation form, I'm going to attach the brochure, which has a listing of all of those hotels. I'll send you a recording of this. You can also, I know the email that you knew that you received to know about the Zoom has a link to the tour that lists those. And then my website, Tourcy, Tourcy 20.com. This tour is listed there as well. But I will make sure that within the next couple of days, you'll receive that. And then if you would like a hard copy mailed to you, just let me know as well, and I'll get that in the mail. And it lists the itinerary, the hotels, the meal inclusions, all the details of the tour that we spoke about today will be written out for you.
One of my favorite hotels you stay at is the Loon Mountain Resort, and it is gorgeous. So make sure you look that one up. It's really pretty.
And then in terms of making a reservation and how things work, I think most everybody on here today I've worked with before, so very similar. Work with me, I'll get your reservation in if you want a pre or a post tour, an air upgrade, any special needs on tour, celebrating anything, you work with me. I take care of everything and get your reservation squared away, and then off you go to see beautiful Cape Cod and autumn in New England next year.
Any other questions at all?
All right. Well, thank you, Amanda. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate
for having me
all the time and the wonderful pictures and details. And I will be in touch with all of you with further information. Just keep in mind, we do have people booked on here on ready. If this is the tour for you, don't wait till November, because space is going fast, especially given current situation. People are looking to the future. They're booking right now for next year.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks. It's so nice to see your faces. Hopefully soon we can all be together again in person, but enjoy the rest of your day. And if you need anything, Tracy's there for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.